unbelievably horrible way to die. And for some it takes days, long, slow, painful days. Exhausted after carrying your own cross beam up the hill, you're suspended from an upright post. And eventually, when you can no longer have the strength to hold your body up, you suffocate with your arms raised. Jesus was beaten up all last night, with whips and clubs and fists. The clothes that were torn from his body before he was put on the cross would have opened up those wounds again with excruciating pain. There he hangs, with criminals beside him, and his mother, and a few who have been faithful to the end close by.
They usually put a sign on the cross, showing the crimes committed. Yeah, well, Pilate's made a sign, King of the Jews. Riles the high priest as much as anything else. Oh, I can't stand it now, they're mocking him!
Yeah, come on, save yourself like you saved others. That's some of how you turned out to be.
Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing.
At noon, the sun seemed to go out, and there was darkness for 3 hours. Nobody knew what was happening. Then at 3, the temple curtain tore right down the middle, opening up the Holy of Holies. And Jesus cried out his last words.
Father, I place my life in your hands.
Everyone who saw what happened, even the captain of the guard and the crowd of ghoulish sightseers, were touched by what they experienced. Overcome with grief, they head for the safety of their homes. The body is normally thrown onto the town rubbish tip, where it is left to rot or be eaten by stray dogs. This appalled even the most corrupt. But one of the believers, Joseph of Arimathea, arranges to take the body and use a tomb that he owns. To prevent anything untoward happening to the body after burial. This was unusual, as crucifixions are commonplace. Sometimes the Romans would even crucify prisoners that were already dead, just to ensure their final humiliation. As Sunday, the Sabbath day dawns, the people go through their rituals and observances as they would for any year, Passover. Few crucifixions, hardly any note. But for some, for Jesus' followers and his family, it was a time of overwhelming grief. What had he done? The body had been lying in the tomb from Friday until after the Sabbath was over. Only as Sunday dawns, is it proper for some of the women to go and embalm the body with spices, as is the usual custom?
Who will roll the stone away? There'll be some guards there. They should do it for us.
But look, the stone's already gone.
A ghost! Don't be afraid. I know you're looking for Jesus of Nazareth, the one that nailed to the cross. But why look for the living in the cemetery? He's been raised up. He's no longer here. Look for yourself. The tomb is empty. Now go. Tell the group, tell Peter, that Jesus is going ahead of you to Galilee. You will see him there. Everything has happened, just as he said it would. The body's gone, but I saw him on the cross. He died.
He's alive, didn't you hear the angel? All the prophecies, everything that's written, it's true.
He's alive.
Been travelling out of town to Emmaus to meet with some other believers there, and they can't stop talking about all that has happened.
How did that crowd get so mad?
I don't know. It's a wonder we survived.
Where did that tomb come from?
The tomb was Joseph. He did a deal with Pilate.
Do you mind if I join you? What are you talking about?
Are you the only one in Jerusalem who hasn't heard?
About what?
What's happened to Jesus, the Nazarene? He was a man of God, a prophet. He was dynamite in what he said and did. He was blessed by God on all the people. But our leaders went after him and had him crucified. We had our hopes he was the one who would deliver Israel.
But then we thought it was all over. And now some of our friends threw everything up in the air. They went to the tomb, but they couldn't find the body. And there's some story about an angel, and others have been to the empty tomb too, but who would take the body?
Oh, come on, friends. You're missing the point. Don't you see that the Messiah had to suffer and only then enter his glory?
Jesus starts from the beginning, going through all the prophets, pointing out everything in the scriptures that referred to him, from start to finish. And they come to the edge of the village they're heading for, and Jesus makes to continue on, but they insist he stay with them. And they all sat down for a meal. And Jesus takes the bread, blesses, and breaks it, and hands it to them. Then it happened. They recognised him and sat there wide-eyed and open-mouthed. And then he disappeared.
I haven't slept a week. I mean, how could we? There's so much to talk about. When Jesus explained the scriptures, it was electric. He really is alive.
I still can't believe the last night isn't a dream. Quick, we've got to get to Jerusalem and tell the others. Come on, we're nearly there. The Master is alive.
Are you crazy? You are joking, aren't you? And let's not see the nail holes in his hands and stick my hands in his side. I won't believe it. Peace be with you. Don't be afraid. Don't let the doubting Christians take over. It really is me. Touch me. Touch my hands. The ghost doesn't have flesh and bone. My Lord and my God. Because you have seen me, you have believed, Thomas. Happy are those who believe without seeing.
Jesus appeared to his followers several times, and they were all believing that he was raised from the dead. The news spread out amongst the wider circle of believers, but they still weren't sure